Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Gustavo. I'm an adult gerontological primary care nurse practitioner here in Arizona. Topic of today is how to pay for nurse practitioner school. There are several ways that I explored when I was going to nurse practitioner school. What I did, just from personal experience, I actually started working with my local university of state university. So I worked with the University of Arizona, and after 6 months, you actually get paid. You get a benefit called a tuition reduction program. So I ended up paying $0 for my tuition. Because I was working as a research nurse with the University of Arizona. The thing I did have to pay was a program fee, which was like $3,000. I would actually have to pay the taxes that the University of Arizona actually paid towards my tuition. I would get tax-free the first $5,000. After that, everything was taxed like if it was my income. I ended up paying like almost $700 or $800 over a couple of paychecks. I would pay the taxes on several checks during the year. Another perk was that my wife was able to start her RN to BSN with Arizona State University also, which that's where I went to DMP school. And for her, it was tax-free. So she actually did get a free education from Arizona State University because I worked for the University of Arizona, which is pretty awesome. So my tuition, which was normally $8,500 to $9,000 per semester, multiply that times 8, it's around 70 grand, like around there. So I didn't have to pay all of that. I actually did have to pay, say like three grand per semester at least. So that would be around $2,400. No, sorry, I'm bad at math. So tuition at Arizona State University, at least back in 2016 to 2019, for the 8 semesters I was there, I actually did pay tuition would have been at least 70 grand, but since I had the tuition reduction program, I only paid $3,000 to $4,000 per semester, which then equated to $24,000 over 8 semesters. So in my book, that's a pretty good deal. I did have to take loans throughout my career, throughout my nurse practitioner school career. The reason, because I had to reduce my hours at work, I had to do clinicals, and I was recently married and also had a kid, so I had to subsidize my life somehow and recoup that. Either working with a state university to get a discount if you're going to a state school. Other option would be also to get student loans, which there's no reason why not to get them, especially after graduation. You're going to be making a pretty good salary. Another thing would be scholarships, which I did have several grants, not scholarships. I did have a grant because I actually did some of my rotations over back here in my hometown. So I qualified for a rural program, which they actually gave me almost $3 grand per semester while I was doing clinicals in the rural community, which was pretty good. See, so at the end, everything balances out. Another thing is just pay it off as you go. If my wife ever decides to go back to nurse practitioner school, I would greatly like for her to go to Arizona State, where I graduated from. It's a very good program, very family oriented, and I know she'll do awesome there. But hopefully, we'll see what she decides. If she ends up going, we might actually just pay cash, or I might seek some employment opportunity with Arizona State University or with the University of Arizona, so I could get that benefit. while working remote or doing something. There's always ways to pay at the end of the day. Doesn't really matter. If you get loans or if you get a scholarship or grant, it could be a multitude of things that you could use to subsidize your education. In my point of view, or in my opinion, it is worth seeking a higher education, especially with a nurse practitioner school. I did weigh the pros and cons versus going to a master's program, like with either with University of Phoenix, Grand Canyon University. A lot of NAU had Northern Arizona University. They also had a master's program. I really, even though it was 3 years, I think it was worth it, the extra money, because I have a lot of friends that graduate with their master's, and the first thing they want to do afterwards is to get their doctor of nursing practice, which really helps just cement that education into your career. In my eyes, it's worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it, especially because you're done. You can only move laterally after that. Another way to pay for your college education is actually to you would have to get loans, but what you could also do is get the Arizona State loan repayment program, which I'm currently participating in. One of the requirements is for you to have attended, to be working in a federally qualified clinic, a rural clinic. Usually it's like in small towns, border towns, anything. There's a list on the Arizona State Loan Repayment, or SLRP program, and you could look where your clinic qualifies. You apply. Yes, you do compete against the whole state, but if your clinic has a high enough score, they will actually pay you for being in that small community. To the date, the first 2 years, I think it's if you're full time, it's up to $50,000. If you get a 30-year renewal, that's 25, and then it goes down by 5 or 10 grand every year you renew after that. If you're gonna be in that small community, which for me it works out because I'm from a small community, so I'm back home, and I get my loans prepaid by the Arizona State. So there are options. Just one of the other ones is the HRSA loan repayment. From my understanding, that's a little bit more competitive to get into some of your loans repaid, and if I remember correctly, they have to be nursing related, at least from the nurse court. Okay. Feel free to look into the HRSA grants, and they will all of their requirements for the program. Okay. And as always, feel free to leave a message. I'll try my best to answer them. And if you guys have any topics or questions that you guys want to talk about, or any ideas for any future videos, let me know. Okay. Smash the like button and subscribe to get notified for further content. Okay. See ya.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still